Hey everybody, I'm late again. Yeah, so just get used to that if you watch this channel. But that being said, I'm Cody Lear. If you do like the content that I put out, I know it's not the most riveting stuff. I need to work on how I'm gonna try to fix things going forward because that is I get tired of making the same videos sometimes. As much as I love doing these, it's just hard to make the same things. But if you do like these videos, make sure to leave a like, a comment, and even subscribe if you haven't already and you would like to. I would appreciate it very much. Today, I kind of wanted to talk about the Borgonzi interview from the other day. If you are not a fan of the Titans, you won't know too much about Mike Borgonzi, but he is the Titans general manager. And in his presser the other day, he just made some comments that I thought were pretty interesting. I figure I can lump that in with how the NFL trade deadline worked out. We can talk about that just a little bit and all that fun stuff. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. That being said, we'll get talking just a little bit. Hopefully, we'll get yapping here in a minute. I know what I've already mentioned. I'm going to try to just make sure that there's no audio on anything coming up on me, because that is going to be the important part. Okay, so Mike Borgonzi talked a little bit and explained that these trades were made specific for a specific reason and things like that, which we completely. It's hard to understand, right? Because Jarvis Brownlee was traded earlier on this year. I don't even remember the compensation. That's how long ago it feels like. Um, and then he was a guy that was drafted. I believe it was just last year. Which, yeah, no, it's kind of crazy. But he also stated that he was controversial around here. You have to evaluate the fit, and that's how that goes in that kind of way. Um, it's crazy though, because Jarvis Brownlee was drafted just last year. He was traded for what, a 2026 seventh round pick in exchange. Oh yeah, the Titans also gave up a seventh round pick in exchange for a sixth. It was controversial around here. You're evaluating the fit. We don't have the culture around here right now to help guys develop. We thought some of the habits weren't conducted to helping Jarvis develop right now. Yeah, I mean that part kind of does make sense. As much as you don't like to hear it as a fan, it makes sense. Um, if you don't think that you're going to be able to develop the guy and he's not playing full and you're not excited about how he's playing, you can kind of completely understand it. He explains on Roger McCreary that Roger McCreary was mostly due to the fact that it was an expiring contract and you're just trying to get some compensation out at that point, which also completely understandable. He talks about Draymond Jones a little bit and how he's hopeful that that turns into a fourth round pick. And if you're looking at Titans fourth round picks, I know you're not really excited. You're like, fourth round pick, nothing really too exciting. They did turn out to be Alec Amanor so far, and he's played okay football. Had some moments where you could be complaining about what he did, but overall, I thought he's played pretty well. And then they talked about that he didn't want to trade Jeff Simmons because Jeff Simmons is going to be a pillar. There apparently have been some rumors leaked that Amy Adams Strunk denied a Tony Pollard trade to New England. I don't know if that's completely true. I could honestly believe it. I don't think that I don't think trading Tony Pollard was a bad idea. To be honest with you, just kind of yapping about it at this point. I don't like Roger McCreary right now is playing for the Rams. He's going to be playing probably. I would assume he'll be playing in the playoffs. So you look at that and you're not completely. You kind of understand it. Um, I don't know what to say, right? Because he opens up about the trades. He opens up about Jeffrey Simmons is supposed to be a pillar for the team. How he's really just focused on seeing how these rookies develop. and things of that nature. I like I like what he's saying, right? Because he is saying that things are going to get turned around here. We haven't completely looked into the head coaching spot, just completely. The only thing that he would, and why Mike McCoy has not been aggressive and things like that, he did answer. He said he's just kind of trusting what the coaching staff is doing, which I completely understand that. Your head coach has already been fired. You're kind of still trying to figure out what's going on with the team. I think as a Titans fan looking in, I think one of the biggest things that should happen is maybe Chad Brinker doesn't have as much of a say in some of the calls around there because Mike Borgonzi seems to know what he's wanting to do and seems to want to really build a team. He really likes the rookies that he's seeing, and honestly, if Femi was on the field, I would have a little bit more confidence. And if Kevin Winston was playing a little bit more, I think I would have a lot more confidence. And maybe those trades, that was the reason for them. And if they were, I completely can understand it. Difference is that Winston is playing the safety position, so he's not going to start where McCreary was, and maybe he will start where Brownlee was a little bit. Draymond Jones losing an edge, that's a pretty tough one, but if you think you're going to get Femi back, it kind of makes sense, right? Because you'll have Sebastian Joseph Day on the other side, Big Jeff in the middle, and you try to get Femi developed. And obviously, Cedric Gray has absolutely tore it up his second year. He has played very good football as a linebacker. I'm very happy to see what he's doing over there. In fact, he's probably going to be one of the people I throw in the thumbnail. Cam Ward, there's a lot to be worried about because the offense has just looked absolutely atrocious. It has not been good at all. Yeah, I don't. And to be honest with you, I just don't know what to say about that whole thing because the offense has just looked atrocious. Chimere DK has played very well. Alec, he looked good last week, and he's been playing a lot of good football. I think he did have a couple weeks where he was kind of going downhill just a little bit, but I guess that's kind of to be figured out there. Another big one was my thought process when it came to his talking about the Draymond Jones trade, and that he's hoping that he gets 2 sacks and the Ravens make the playoffs, which I think the Ravens will probably make the playoffs. Man, man, I don't know. I don't know what to think as a Titans fan right now. I want to say that there's confidence, but there's not very much confidence. I think that the offense is still in a rough shape. Borgonzi does believe we can turn it around, so hopefully he's right, and hopefully we know what he's talking about soon. It's just it's just hard. It's hard to get too confident, but hey, I guess that's just how it goes. But overall, I thought Borgonzi sounded really good. Everything that he says sounded really good. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't really have faith. I've been rambling a lot though, so let's get on to the other thing that we wanted to talk about today. I want to talk about the trade deadline trades. You got to see some of them on their new teams today. In fact, like the Colts, they traded for Sauce Gardner. They got the Colts received Sauce Gardner. The Jets received Adonai Mitchell, 2026 first round and 2027 first round. I really like that deal actually for both teams. To be honest with you, Indianapolis needed a little bit of help due to injury on the cornerback position, and the Jets are getting some much needed first round picks, albeit they will probably be later round picks. But they also got Adonai Mitchell out of it. Really a really massive trade. Yeah, Jets are kind of on a fire sale and getting people that are on rookie contracts. You kind of understand it. Definitely think it was a good move for both. Tavarius Ward on IR, and he did need some help, so it makes a lot of sense to me. I really like the Jets conservative play, and I also like the Colts being incredibly attacking it. Now, another trade for the Jets was the Cowboys. They traded for Quinnen Williams. They received Quinnen Williams, while the Jets, they received the Mozzie Smith, 2026 second round pick, and a 2027 first round draft pick. Not bad at all. Jerry Jones, he stuck to his guns. He did. He did. He got himself a D tackle. Their defense has not been great this year. Like, not good at all. But he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing on that defensive line, so he can hopefully fix kind of the pass rush that has been going on. I know a lot of people are excited about Overshown being back too. Yeah, you could definitely be very hopeful at that. The Jets are definitely getting another young developmental piece, and that makes a lot of sense to be honest with you. Yeah, uh, I think it's $20 million a year less for Quentin Williams, so it does make sense. Yeah, it does make sense, but yeah, hopefully that we're getting those things figured out over there. Jets really need some help, and the Cowboys need help on defense. So maybe they think that this is the first step to rebuilding over there. As you hear my cat's food alarm go off. Hopefully you didn't hear too much of that, but if you did, it is what it is. Seahawks, they traded for Rashid Shaheed from the New Orleans Saints. Seattle got the receiver that they could have used as a slot kind of guy. And New Orleans, they got a 4th round and a 5th round pick in next year's draft. I think they both got a pretty good haul in this one. Yeah, I mean, Shaheed, he can be paired with Jackson Smith and Jigba right away. He's got a lot of good speed, and he's going to be paired with an old offensive coordinator of his and Clint Kubiak. Yeah, makes a lot of sense to me for them to make that move. Jaguars, they traded for Jacoby Myers. I can't wait to talk about that game this week. I love making fun of Jacksonville, so I can't wait to talk about that game this week. But Jacoby Myers got traded from the Raiders. I think he had requested a trade like way earlier on. Jacksonville, they got Jacoby Myers, and the Vegas Raiders got a 4th and a 6th round pick in the upcoming draft. Travis Hunter's out at least 3 games, so that makes things a little bit harder for him. They needed to make that move. Jacoby Myers, 28 years old. He's going to be a better target for Jacksonville, and they need it. They need it because Brian Thomas hasn't exactly had the most phenomenal year, and Travis Hunter, he's still going to develop. I think he's looked pretty solid. I don't completely know, to be honest with you, but if he has, then hey, definitely good to hear. So, yeah, I really like what happened on that move as well. The Bears, they got JTS from the Browns. Not really a crazy talk about, to be honest with you, but Chicago got a really good pass rusher, and Cleveland, they got a 6th round pick out of it, so I think both sides are pretty happy in that regard. And then, of course, the other one from the Cowboys, if I remember correctly, is that the last one we have? No, Trevor Penning. We'll talk about Trevor Penning real quick. Trevor Penning was traded from the Saints to the Chargers. Penning went to the Chargers, and the Saints got a 6th round pick in 2027. Chargers really needed some help in the offensive line. Made complete sense to me. So, yeah, really nothing to go over there. I know the Jets did trade for Ja'Sir Taylor as well, conditional 7th round pick from the Chargers. Yeah, wasn't a massive move. But yeah, Trevor Penning and Ja'Sir Taylor are on the move. But the last decent-sized one was the Dallas Cowboys. They traded to the Cincinnati Bengals for Logan Wilson. Cincinnati will get a 7th-round pick out of it. Wilson kind of wanted to be traded anyway, so he went from the worst defense in the league to the 2nd worst, and he should be a full-time starter again. Had seen a little bit of missing time on the Bengals defense. So yeah, really definitely a big move for him in that regard. So I think Logan Wilson's super happy about what the trade that happened because he finally got traded, but don't know if he's thrilled about where he landed. Too much. Who knows? Um, Titans, they traded Draymond Jones to the Baltimore Ravens. We talked about that a tiny bit for a conditional 5th-round pick. Could end up being a 4th-round pick. Yeah. And the Ravens, they definitely could make the playoffs, and he could get 2 sacks. Could be absolutely crazy. But Ravens, they traded Adefe away earlier on this year. Makes sense to get a guy that can fill that hole. The Eagles, they also traded for Jalen Phillips from the Miami Dolphins. Got a 2026 3rd-round pick out of it. Jalen Phillips is a really good fit for the Eagles, though, so I really like that pick a lot. My only real thing is Dolphins kind of. I don't know if the Dolphins need to tear it down completely, but I think getting rid of Jalen Phillips kind of makes a lot of sense for them, to be honest with you. But that is going to be the last thing we talk about today. I do appreciate it if you made it all the way to the end of the video. I apologize for all the rambling, but we at least got it done, right? So, that being said, if you do enjoy what we doing here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a subscribe, and I'll see you all next video.